All right, we're live for some Windy City Hawkey live on YouTube. Yes, I wanted to just go live for today just because the news the Hawks have made in the last 24 hours, basically, because they did sign a couple players to entry-level contracts, and, well, there's some news on Stan Bowman. How are you doing, Isaiah? Did I say your name right? Isaiah? Okay, let me get a tweet made saying that we're live on YouTube. Okay, I just for a second I felt like I butchered it. I don't know why. Okay. That should be tweeted. Links on Discord. I'm just getting all these links posted for the live stream. Then we'll get into the full topics. Since I do link my channel's videos and streams to like my social media saying that we are live on YouTube. How are you doing, Emmer? Yeah, it so far looks like a good deal for Isaac. I'm looking forward for him to eventually make it to the Blackhawks. Let's get a few more people in here, and then we'll get into the news for the Blackhawks from the last 24 hours. I want to hear what your guys' thoughts were from last night's action between the Blackhawks and Hurricanes. The Hawks looked good during the second period, and they took it into the third period. That was a good game by your Chicago Blackhawks last night. Yeah, since it's not a game day, I decided not to go with a jersey for a live stream. I just wanted to wear a hat and just a Blackhawks shirt. All right. Yeah, Lakinen's been great. Let's lower that camera angle just a little high. Readjusting is always good to see. Okay. Well, we have about 7 people in the live stream. Welcome to the stream, guys. We're going to talk about what happened yesterday by the Chicago Blackhawks and a signing they made for a player who was undrafted into the NHL, and that was Mike Hardman, who's a right winger who currently signed a 2-year deal for an entry-level deal out of Boston College to play with your Chicago Blackhawks. He's currently on the taxi squad with the Blackhawks. So I think this is a solid move. He was undrafted. He was in the top 5 in points for his sophomore and freshman year in college. So it's a solid signing. Don't know when he'll make an NHL debut exactly, but it's a solid signing here for the Chicago Blackhawks. Then this morning, the Hawks made another signing to an entry-level deal for their 5th round pick in the 2020 NHL draft, of Isaac Phillips, who currently has been playing with the Rockford Ice Hogs this year. He played for the Salisbury Wolves in the OHL for the past couple seasons, and now he signed his entry-level deal with your Chicago Blackhawks this morning to make it a 3-year entry-level contract. Good job there by Isaac. Congratulations to him getting his contract with the Chicago Blackhawks. His contract won't go into effect until next season. He's currently playing for the Rockford Ice Hogs, who he's had a great start with the Rockford Ice Hogs, putting up 6 points in 14 games with your Rockford Ice Hogs down in the AHL. Hang on, sorry, I'm going to see why my dogs. Okay, I just saw something out of the door, so that's fine. Yeah, but the Hawks look like they got a couple signings done, which is great to see. And that should help them in their depth in growing their team for the future. Then more news broke, and it involves President of Hockey Operations and General Manager Stan Bowman today, where he will be the GM of USA Hockey for the 2022 Winter Olympic Games, which honestly came out of nowhere. Does this lead to a bigger sign towards knowing that the NHL could be potentially returning to the Olympics with NHL players back in the Olympic ice? It sure kind of sounds like it, with a deal like Bowman to USA Hockey to basically be the GM of that team. Yeah, there's no OHL season. That's exactly why Isaac's been playing with the Rockford Ice Hogs this season. The thing is, if the OHL had a season, he would probably be playing with Salisbury in the OHL, because it's not. The AHL made some rule changing on their age limit for playing for the AHL. They allowing players to join the AHL rosters to play there, just because the juniors there are like the OHL hasn't really started, so they just are doing this to basically get things going for prospect development. That's the main reason why Isaac's been playing with the Rockford Ice Hogs this year. Nemir, I don't know if Isaac will make his debut this season. I think they'll hold off until probably next season to give Isaac his debut, because he was only a 5th-round draft pick. How are you doing, Aaron? I don't know if you missed all the news topic I already talked about. I talked about yesterday's signing Mike Hardman, today's signing of Isaac Phillips to their ECLs, entry-level contracts, and Stan Bowman being the GM of USA Hockey for the 2022 Winter Olympic Games. So I just wanted to go live today because there's been quite a bit of news that's dropped about just signings, and then Bowman, of course, today. So, who wants to talk about? Oh, you were referring to Hardman? I wouldn't be surprised I think he will make his debut this season. The Hawks do like giving NHL debuts this year. I do expect, though, who knows about Isaac? He could make his debut next season, but it's still up in air. But Hardman, he most likely makes an NHL debut because he is a college signing. He's 22, undrafted player. do believe he's undrafted. Mike, I'm looking it up just to make sure I'm correct on it. Yeah, he was undrafted. But yeah, he's on the taxi squad, so it should be interesting. I don't know. Hopefully soon. I would love to go to a Hawks game, but it's still I don't know when the UC will be opened up for fans again. I know there has been images from like Ben Pope, who's a Blackhawk beat writer, with photos that he took in the United Center saying "Welcome to the United Center" and stuff of signs like that. But that's about it. But other than that, I don't know. I hope we get to could see fans this season in the UC. The Madhouse isn't the same without fans in the stadium. But Tommy Hawk's really loving it to getting those, trying to get pucks from Patrick Kane. Was he like 3 for 17 or something? Oh yeah, there are some games on today just because it is Wednesday night, and Wednesday night is a big hockey night and on NBC. We'll go. I'm going to stay live for about 15 more minutes, so we could just talk about whatever on the like Blackhawk talk or any hockey talk if you guys want. Because right now we're in scoreboard watch for the rest of this season for being Blackhawk fans. So, um, Sabres. Yeah, the Sabres, I feel bad for them, honestly. I feel more bad for their fans and the team just because the fans, they deserve better in Buffalo. That team's been a joke for too long. Puce, I really like Puce Suter. He's a good centerman for the Hawks. He's stepped it up with a couple key centers being out of the lineup pretty much for the full season, and Doc and Tays, and he's played well with DeBrincat and Kane. He's made a solid line when paired with DeBrincat and Kane. I like Puce. He's been great for us. Yeah, I feel more bad for Saber fans than anything right now just because they're dealing with so much incompetency in the front office and running that team. What's that? Don't be surprised if next Hawks prospect to sign his ELC is. Yeah, I probably wouldn't be surprised. They most likely sign Lucas to his ELC in the off season than more than anything, just because Reichel, he's playing. I think they will just wait till just the off season, see what they need to do. I know that we'll get ELCs signed because those contracts are nothing. The Hurricanes? Are you referring about? Because you said Kane. That's why I was like, what? Hurricanes. Yeah, the Carolina Hurricanes are not garbage. They're, in my opinion, probably the toughest team. Okay, now I know you're. And no, Patrick Kane has not been garbage this season. He's been great. He's an MVP candidate for this season. So, but yeah, the Hurricanes have been a good season. Are honestly a Stanley Cup contender this year, and well, they're pretty good. And I liked how the Hawks were able to just play that neutral zone trap in last night's game during the second period, leading to frustration in Carolina. They've been using Reichel as a center, really. I thought they were using him more as a wingers because he's more of a winger anyways. Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize Ice Baron was using Reichel as a centerman this year. I thought he was more primarily a winger. I knew they were starting him out in the season as a winger. Seeing if my links. I really hope Kaner wins the Hart this year. He deserves it. Honestly, if the Hawks do make the playoffs, Patrick Kane should and will win the Hart Trophy. Those are my words, and I think that's basically the truth. Kane should win the Hart Trophy, even if the Hawks don't even make the playoffs, because the Hart Trophy is not for the true, like the MVP of the National Hockey League. They may think it is, but the Hart Trophy is technically for the best player for their team, voted upon by writers and stuff like that. That's what the true definition for the Hart Trophy is. Patrick Kane has been the true MVP of the Chicago Blackhawks. Where, like Connor McDavid on the Oilers, on the other hand, he will most likely win the Ted Lindsay Award for the MVP voted upon by the Player Association and as the best player in the National Hockey League. That's what the differences are in the Hart Trophy and Ted Lindsay. That's why I feel like Patrick Kane does deserve the Hart Trophy. And there you go. You just got timed out. Panthers in trouble without Ekblad. I think they could be. Ekblad was having a not Hart Trophy, but a Norris Trophy caliber season, and he went down. That's a big loss to the Florida Panthers lineup. I was surprised they didn't go and just say, okay, let's try and claim Shane Gostisbehere off of waivers. He was on waivers by the Philadelphia Flyers. I was surprised the Panthers didn't go and just, okay, claim him. For just to have someone on the blue line like that can put up points. Let me see. The new Ice Hog Dixie. I haven't been able to really watch much of the AHL this season, to be quite honest, Hunter. I wanted to, and I wanted to keep more eye on the Rockford Ice Hogs this year, but I've been so busy, I have not been able to keep an eye on like the Rockford Ice Hogs this year. I'm sorry about that. If you're okay with me saying that, I'm sorry that I have not been able to keep up with all things Ice Hogs this year. Keep an eye on a few prospects for the Blackhawks right now, but that's about it. And then I've heard news about a potential for the Blackhawks buying the Rockford Ice Hogs. I saw that the Rockford News Channel said something about that earlier in March. And guys, we'll be cutting the stream here in 8 minutes. I just wanted to do a 30-minute live stream today, and we might continue doing these 30-minute live streams a week just on news and topics that's happening on the Blackhawks. I think that's a smart move. Might continue doing this. But yeah, we'll end the stream off here in about 8 minutes. If you guys have any last few minute topics to talk about. And if you're new to the channel, please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I really will appreciate it. What have I thought on Doc's play? His second game, he had a rough game. Doc had a rough game in his second game. The first one, he looked solid on it. And then last night, he actually looked pretty like he's starting to find his game and get it back and going. He had a rough game in his second game. Usually that happens for someone coming off of a long injury. They just have rough games. And he's looked solid for the Hawks. Yeah. Really do not like Trashville. Yeah. I know they're getting hot right now, but let's see if they can hold it. I don't know if they can. There's something about that team, I think, right now they're just with momentum, yes, but I don't think they can hold it. So right now it's a battle for fourth place in the Central Division. Yeah, it's going to be weird. It's a stupid name they're choosing. Yes. And luckily, for Chicago sports, don't have to deal with having to use Fox Sports Fox Sports regional networks. They don't have to use it. And then there's the Cubs who have Marquee, which that's a whole nother story. That's a joke in itself. But hearing you have to go watch let's say what teams use Fox currently. One of the graphics will look like marquee, really. What's my favorite snack? Now that's a good question. It's popcorn. Yeah, I know, Timo. Nashville's on a 6-game win streak, but teams hit hot streaks and then they sometimes fall apart. Nashville's a team, yes, they're on a hot streak, but let's see how long it takes, when it will take them, what will happen when they get their first loss after this win streak. But yeah, Hunter, my favorite snack is popcorn. So like when Fox switches to Bali, it's going to they're using the Marquee Network graphics, kinda. They do have a lot of injuries in Nashville, yes, but um, they have been able to play well without the players they have injuries. So who knows? I don't know how long Nashville can contain their hot streak. They started out very cold, and that's what it looked like they were going to be. If you asked me before Taze and Doc got injured, I would have said um, the Blackhawks will finish ahead of Nashville in the Central Division. Right now, the Hawks were sitting ahead of Nashville in the Central Division for a while until Nashville hit their hot streak. So, who knows? Right now, it's going to probably come down to one of the final games of the season to make who makes the playoffs. I hope the Hawks make the playoffs. That will be a good prove a lot of people wrong and build for it will help the youth of the team basically learn. It will be a great learning experience for the young Chicago Blackhawks on the roster already if they make the playoffs. Anything can happen in the playoffs, as we learned last year when the Hawks made it to the Stanley Cup qualifier round to play Edmonton, and everyone was having the Hawks written off, and they ended up knocking out Edmonton. Then we went on and played Vegas, yes. They basically lost, but it seemed like the young players from the team that played on it last year build a hunger into making the playoffs. Okay, you're gone. Would you like to see more Saturday afternoon Blackhawk games at the UC? Honestly, I'm not a big fan of matinee games like on Saturday during the daytime. I'm more of a fan of the games being at 7 o'clock. They're better in my opinion, and sometimes the team just does not get up to play for early start games. So I would prefer to stay with the later starts than playing in the afternoon, playing in at noon. White Sox or Cubs? Well, does that pennant right there basically show? I'm a diehard Cub fan, but I'm more all Chicago Blackhawks. So And well, it's hitting 30 minutes of the stream. I might stay live for a couple more minutes. But if you're new to the channel, please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I will really appreciate it. How are you doing, Weston? Unfortunately, we're getting ready to end the stream off here soon, here in a couple minutes. But I will stay on for a couple more. That would be interesting to see an outdoor game in Europe, but I don't think the NHL will do that ever. Yeah, keep the global series a thing. I like it. It's a cool thing they do. But an outdoor game, probably not. So guys, we're hitting 32 minutes, and I said I was going to do this as a 30-minute live stream. So I would like to say thank you for coming to the broadcast. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I will really appreciate it as we're on the road to hitting 400 subscribers. And most of all, let's go Hawks!